everybody, and welcome back. Although the title of the channel is Why Not Cook, today we're going to take a break from cooking and actually get into some baking. Now let's get started. Okay, so as you saw from the title, we're going to be making some good old brownies. So to start out with our brownies, we're going to be taking a half a cup of all-purpose flour. And I actually have put some cocoa powder in the same measuring cup, and then we're going to be taking a third cup of some cocoa powder, and this is unsweetened cocoa powder. So let me just show you. This is the one that I purchased. It's 100% cocoa, naturally unsweetened cocoa powder. So we're going to be using that, and then we're going to take a quarter teaspoon of baking powder, which is just a tiny amount of baking powder, and we're just going to give that a quick whisk. And you're going to see instantly the flour is going to really just turn to look like all cocoa powder. So we just want to mix that up together. Alright, so now that that is all mixed together, those three ingredients, let's move on to our wet ingredients. Now, there actually is two schools of thought on how you can do this. Well, you can actually take your wet and just add your sugar directly into the butter, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do like half of the sugar here, and I'll put the other half in the cocoa powder mixture, and I'll mix that up. So let's whisk this together. And this is our melted butter. This is 1 full stick of some unsalted butter. And 1 cup of just white granulated sugar. Right, so now I'm going to take 2 eggs and beat them into our butter sugar mixture. And then I'm gonna minus the shell, and then I'm gonna take some vanilla extract, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, and incorporate that directly into our wet ingredients. So 2 teaspoons. So here I have a teaspoon measure. I'm gonna take 2 of those. Okay. And let's just give this a quick mix again. You can probably also just incorporate all of this directly into the dry ingredients, because it's not like you're making a cake. So at this point, let's go ahead and just add all of the wet ingredients directly into the flour and cocoa powder mixture. Right, so I'm gonna just whisk that sugar in there, and let's just go ahead and pour all of this in there. Okay, so to just get a there we go. You can use one of these silicone spatulas to get make sure you get everything out of your dish, which is what I'm using here, a silicone spatula. Now let's just give this all a whisk together. It's actually probably a good idea to use a fork, which I may switch to. I normally do at this point. Let's see how this goes with the whisk. Let me move this out the way. Okay, not too bad. You also now want to make sure that you already preheated your oven to 350 degrees. So I already have my oven preheated to 350. So just for a little extra chocolatey, I'm going to be using some semi-sweet. These are the, let me just move this over so you can see here, the semi-sweet chocolate chips. So not too much. I like to just really just put them on the top, but I'm just going to just add a sprinkle to the batter. Just mix it in. I really like to just put them on the top, actually. So now let's go ahead and just get this into our dish. So what I have here is a little baking dish and a parchment paper. So you're just going to line your dish with some parchment paper. Right? Well, it'll lay down flat once we start pouring the batter on. And go ahead and let's get our batter and get it into this baking dish here. Okay, so here's where you kind of want to put that whisk away and move on to your silicone spatula to get everything out of your bowl because the batter is a little bit thick. Okay. Alrighty. So now I'm just going to take your spatula and move everything around. And this is a pretty small pan. This is going to make about 9 to 12 brownies, depending on how you cut them. So now once I smooth everything out, I'm going to take just a little bit of chocolate chips and just add them to the top. Try to smooth this down a little bit. Okay. So let me just get the batter off of here. Okay. So now let's add some additional chocolate chips on top. And again, these are semi-sweet chocolate chips. They're not like super sweet. I'm just going to add just a sprinkle to the top. Alrighty, so now we're going to go ahead and get this into our preheated oven. And we're going to bake for about 25 to 30 minutes. And what you want to do is make sure you take a little toothpick maybe and stick it through, or a fork, and see once they're fully done, and then you can get them out. So now we're ready to go ahead and pop these in the oven. Okay, so our brownies have been baking for 25 minutes. What I'm going to do now is just add a sprinkle of some more of those chocolate chips on top, because as you can see, they kind of sunk in. And then I'm going to just place it back in the oven. I turned the oven off, but I'm just going to place it back in the oven so they can just melt from the existing heat, but you don't need to, you know, turn the oven back on. So just move the chips around a little bit and they're going to melt right on top. So now let's get this back in the oven, then I'll show you the finished product. Okay, so here was our finished product after I took the brownies out of the oven, after I let them sit for about 5-6 minutes, once I just sprinkled some additional chocolate chips on top. So I just want to give it a cut here to show you that it is in fact done all the way through. See? Just gonna cut it into cubes. And remember, you can cut them small, medium, you can cut them into any size that you like. So for me, I'm going to cut them and get about a dozen. This is actually 12, so I just want to take one out to show you that it is in fact cooked all the way through. Let me get one in the corner here. So here, as you can see, it's cooked all the way through and ready for us to enjoy. Now that is a simple and easy recipe for making brownies. This is also a good one to make with the kids. Hopefully you enjoyed it and will give it a thumbs up, and I will see you again on the next one. Thanks for watching.